Metal Jesus is a long-haired, hard rock and roll style guy that seems awfully laid back and easy to talk to. However, when I reached out to him for comment, he never got back to me, which leads me to believe that he has a dark secret. I am the Game Collector and this is Second Opinion Games, and today I'm gonna talk about Metal Jesus' dark secret, how he hates sheep.
Second Opinion Games.
Tak and the Power of Juju is a 3D action platform game based on a cartoon for kids, which means it is ridiculously easy. I never really thought I would talk about it that much. It came out on the GameCube, Xbox, PS2. Not a whole lot of people paid much attention to it outside of its age range that it was based for, and it's done all quite serviceable. The graphics here look nice. But one of the more interesting aspects about the storyline here is that many of the villagers have been turned into sheep, and you could even pick up said sheep and use them as disguises. But I usually just pick them up and throw them in a pot because I want to cook them up and eat them later, because I'm assuming Tak is some type of cannibal. This game is kind of fun and definitely one that Metal Jesus will want to stay away from. Spyro the Dragon used to be a bit of a mascot for the PlayStation 1, but when the GameCube and original Xbox came out, well, he really got around. Also had plenty of games for the Game Boy Advance, but we're looking at Spyro A Hero's Tale here, and it's your standard action collectathon. Now, what makes this game stand out on Metal Jesus' hate list is absolutely nothing, because it's a quite good game, especially because you get to roast sheep alive. That psychopath really likes this game because of the fact that you catch sheep on fire. Can you imagine their wool burning on their flesh as they run around in absolute terror just to feed a little tiny fire dragon that seems to follow you around? The whole thing itself seems cutesy enough until you take into fact all of the murdering Spyro does. Man, this game is really dark, even if it is bright and cheery. Space Station Silicon Valley is one of the Nintendo 64's coolest exclusives. It has crudely animated cutscenes, which are darn right hilarious, and has a microchip that can jump in and out of animals, like dogs and mice, and of course, sheep. And then it gives you the full lowdown on all the specs on sheep and how really dumb they are, but also how they can float through the air. If you jump, you can sort of glide with them, just like Spyro the Dragon, which just brings you back to the fact that he tortures sheep, and that's just plain sick. Now, I guarantee you Metal Jesus loves this game because it is full of personality, but also, I bet you he moves far away from that sheep as fast as he can. Heck, you could even herd him into a corral, just like, you would if you're a sheep herder. That's a legit job, right? Sheep for the PS1 is a sheep herding video game. If that sounds really fun, well, you are mistaken, because it's really not. Sure, you could choose your different characters and they each have their own anime cutscenes, and it's a bit of a puzzle game, but it's best if you already know how to complete the puzzle before you start playing. Otherwise, you're just gonna be scratching your head trying to figure out what to do with these sheep. And sometimes, even if you know, you still have a difficult time because herding sheep is not that fun. Sometimes it's frustrating, and there's also things on the map that can kill your sheep, flatten them dead with cars or tractors, or push them into weird machines that just do some creepy stuff to them. Also, the sheep here are like space alien sheep, and that gets really weird with the whole storyline, which is probably the best part of the entire game. However, just playing the game is frustrating as all heck, and I can't recommend it to anybody, even if you love sheep. A better sheep herding experience is found in kind of a weird place. Wii Party for the Nintendo Wii. Now, this is a collection of mini games that you could play with a couple of friends or just by yourself. Honestly, most of these mini games aren't really that fun. However, there is a small subsection here of cooperative mini games, in which case playing with a friend is definitely a ton of fun here, because instead of trying to compete, you are working together for a common goal. And one of the best minigames here is a sheep herding one, which is insanely difficult. Trying to communicate back and forth to your partner exactly what to do to spin these little things around to move the sheep from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen is nearly impossible, but it doesn't mean you don't have a lot of fun while doing it. Even if this is just one of many mini games here, it happens to be one heck of a banger, just like all the other mini games on this very forgotten about title. A lot of strategy is also put into our next game, Castle Storm, on the Nintendo Wii U. Now, this is an eShop exclusive, so you better pick it up before the eShop is closed. And I'm serious on this one. There is lots of things to do. You have to manage the ballista, which is like a giant Angry Birds thing that you could use to destroy your opponent's castles. You have to summon different characters to fight your wars, and even sometimes show up yourself as a little hacking and slashing avatar, just cutting everything down in size. There's tons of missions here. You can even build up your own castle any way you see fit. Lots of different upgrades, and sometimes sheep jump into your giant ballista, which happens to be your best weapon, in which case it's pretty much useless because flinging sheep in a giant crossbow just isn't gonna get the job done. This is absolutely insane as far as all the different aspects you have to control at once in order to complete each mission, and it never stops being a good time. Unless you have a lot of anxiety, in which case you are gonna freak out when you play this one. I cannot recommend it enough. But the very best sheep-based puzzle strategy game has to be Katherine, made by Suda51, the guy that is the best guy at designing how video game girls should be animated. And in this, it's a box sliding puzzle game with a whole lot of sheep going on. Also, it is complete and total nightmare fuel from the beginning to the end. Sometimes it asks you questions about morality and what's right and wrong, and you have to answer them to the best of your ability, or what I like to do, answer them as wrong as possible to find out exactly how evil and dark I can truly be, just like Metal Jesus himself. I guarantee you he loves this video game, not because of the great gameplay or the super hot chicks, but because he likes to see sheep go falling to their splattering death. Because, you know what, he's sick and really hates it. I thought I made that clear by now. But sometimes you kind of have to go out of your way to find a really weird sheep game, and the Sega Saturn has one. Manx TT Superbike is a standard motorcycle arcade racing experience, and it's done quite well. It doesn't have that Nintendo 64 fog, instead it has the Sega Saturn pop-in effect, but the corners are spaced out just enough so it's not game-breaking. Now, just jumping in the first-person view of riding your motorcycle is nearly impossible because of how you have to lean into corners. But that's not really what I want to talk about here. Instead, if you jump into Saturn mode and enter the right code, you will hear a sheep baa, and then your bike will be transformed into a sheep itself. Now racing around the course is even more fun with different music, different sound effects, and it just makes the whole game far more enjoyable. It doesn't make it control any better, and I am horrible at these type of games, meaning that I'm never gonna make it very far. It takes a normally average motorcycle racing experience and turns it into the very best sheep racing video game I think I've ever played. Metal Jesus, you better stay far away from this one. But there's one game that really stands out in its true love of sheep, and I guarantee you Metal Jesus will never go anywhere near it because of his hatred of the sheep, and this one is proof. He will never talk about Defender 2000 for the Atari Jaguar. Now, you do have your classic Defender game here, and even the much updated Defender 2000 itself. But if you play with a secret hidden code, well then you can play the whole game as a sheep, flying around, blowing up things, and saving llamas. Your sheep is the absolute hero of the day, and you will have a great time crushing your way through this epic Atari Jaguar experience in what could be the very best sheep flying spaceshipy game ever made. But of course, that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching.
May you rest in peace.
Now's not the time to be dead.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I had a great time making it, and if you ever do watch a Metal Jesus video, make sure you drop a note in the comment box letting him know that you know his evil secret and how much he hates sheep. I bet you that will never get old. So let me know also what your favorite sheep video game experience is. It's probably that Looney Tunes one on the PlayStation 1. My copy did not work at all, sadly, so I couldn't add that to the list. But I thought I did a pretty good video, even though I left that one off. So if you have an absolutely crazy idea for a video for me to do in the future, well, let me know, and I'll probably be the only one that will actually take it up, because a lot of people stay away from weird topics like this. So until later, I will see you again, guys.